TikTok incentive reward campaign. Okay.
Yeah. It even says, it has a black thing on the side. It's earn a condo in Miami, which if you've ever been to Miami, you know that that's not cheap. If you have a question about TikTok, don't Google it. Don't ask a friend. Go to TikTok and go up to the search bar and search for it. Because if it doesn't say it on TikTok, then it really doesn't matter.
I'm the best TikTok shopper. I know a lot of TikTok shoppers, and I'm the best. Nobody's as good of a shopper on TikTok as I am.
They're #1 headphones on Amazon for headphones with a microphone, and it's a no-name brand with thousands of reviews for $39. The funny thing about it, though, is when it says Bluetooth pairing, you can the accent is very Asian, which is very humorous. Yes, but the headphones work great.
I had a set like that. Bluetooth powering.
Bluetooth powering. Exactly.
I can see a Chinese seller from a mile away.
Edit that bit out. Post edit, we make sure we get rid of the Asian impersonations because we are not being inclusive.
I feel like we are being inclusive. Isn't that a form of flattery?
The Asian accent.
So yeah, things are heating up, Erica. Pre-recording, you were talking about TikTok. Stuff is bubbling up on TikTok, dude. It seems to take over all of our podcast calls, but it's because it's new. It's exciting.
It is new. It is exciting, and all the big brands are investing heavily into it. And the statistics and the hype is what keeps the phone calls coming. I think that AI and TikTok are probably the hottest topics right now.
Eric, why don't you share to the audience the reward program that Golly's offering?
Yeah, sure. So I'm thinking about switching careers, just based on.
You're in the wrong business.
Exactly. Let me see.
For the audio audience, we're going to explain this to you. But basically, Golly, not sure how it's pronounced, or a supplement brand. They primarily do gummies, and they are pretty aggro, pretty bullish on TikTok. And what Eric's showing here right now, what's the top of it say? The PDF? TikTok incentive reward campaign. Okay.
Yeah. It even says, it has a black thing on the side. It's earn a condo in Miami, which if you've ever been to Miami, you know that that's not cheap. But it
could be in Hialeah. It could be in Hialeah and like the Cuban neighborhood with
It's true, Coyo Ocho, or what do they call it? Yeah, it's possible that it's not necessarily one of the high rises you're thinking it is, but they also down here, just to give you an idea, they also have Lambos, so maybe it is.
Yeah, if they're doing a Lamborghini, I mean they're throwing down on a condo.
They said condominium in Brickell, Miami, which I'm not sure. Is that the art district or right next to it? I can't remember, but I think it's pretty bougie.
Nice place.
Yeah,
it's bougie. No, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, this is just awesome.
Give you a condo? Like they just buy you a condo?
So here's how it works, right? So like for the audio audience, they have a list of sales benchmarks if you sell X amount of Golly products, right? So let's say you're a creator and you do $1 million in sales, which TikTok calls it GMV, gross merchandise volume, and you do, I think the exact number here is $950,000. You get a Lamborghini Urus, a Aruba all-inclusive trip, a MacBook Pro, an iPad, an Apple Watch, an iPhone 15, which is kind of lame now. Come on, 16 just came out. Come on, come on.
I'm not gonna lie. If I do $950,000 and you give me an Apple Watch, I'm gonna throw it on the ground. I'm not gonna lie. I want that Lambo.
But here's the key. But here's the key: 3-month retainer, all these things, right? Or $316,000 in cash. So
nice.
It's kind of smart marketing, because all they're basically saying is they're going to give you 1/3. That's all they're saying. They're basically saying 33% commission. But who would want the items decided for them? Who in their right mind would be like, okay, I'll do all those rewards, not the cash, where I can decide what I'm going to buy? Kind of stupid, but I think this is exciting, and they do it and they show the car, they show the picture of the all expense paid trip to Aruba. But at the end of the day, it's really just $316,000 cash is a better deal. Go down to the next one. The next one's $1.2 million in sales. Scroll down.
Has anybody achieved this yet?
I don't even know. Eric, scroll down a little bit.
That's the end of it.
Oh, that's the end
This
of
is
it.
this is a picture. Yeah, this is
Yeah. So, for 1.2 million in sales in Golly, you get a condo in Brickell, Miami. Not sure where that is. You get a Sea-Doo. You have to figure out where to park it. A MacBook Pro, an iPad, an Apple Watch, iPhone 15. So yeah, it's just kind of for all those guys out there listening or watching. This gives you an idea of how aggressive one of the top supplement brands is, and it kind of makes you rethink your game a little bit. Certainly does.
So
for
wait
me.
a minute, is this on top of your affiliate commission too?
No.
Yeah, it's not disclosed. It's not disclosed, but I'm pretty sure that at the volume that they're doing, they can probably get away with 50% and still make profit.
Well, they have so many platforms. I mean, they're in retail. They're in
Walgreens, Walmart.
Yeah, they're at every retail store. So if they have a viral TikTok video that does high in GMV and they pay 50%, they really only pay 10%.
Yeah. The spillover, yeah, for sure.
They could do the spillover. They could do all of these things, and they could give them in hell. They could do 80%, and they'd still make profit. Because
What do you think? 50? What do you think? 50% spillover to Amazon and D2C between them?
Well, you also have the residuals. Like you have just the brand awareness, top of funnel stuff. So someone sees a TikTok video of Golly and they see it in the retail store, they're going to buy it now because in their.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So you have your overall company, your overall P&L is going to be dramatically inflated over the next few months. And if you have that keep going, like you have a new viral video every month, I mean, it's forever that retail is going to sell out, and the retail order is going to be huge. And all the platforms, Amazon, you're selling on Target.com. It's just going to be insane. So they can, like, these are actually technically, if anything, they're underspending. I'd say they're being conservative on how much they're rewarding people based on how many millions of dollars they make on a viral video.
They're actually essentially incentivizing people with putting the prize, kind of dangling the prize to the influencer to essentially get all the good creators to work with them. But like you were saying, I mean, it is 33%, and they're probably profiting probably like 90%. With the spillover included, as well as the new to brand and the brand awareness and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean they're doing totally fine. They can easily afford all of these things because of the spillover to multiple.
Yeah,
well,
which
I hear there is
write-offs. Yeah,
I hear there is trouble in paradise though. My business partner for my little TikTok venture that we're just kind of stirring up told me that she knows on the inside that Golly's purchased over 100 TikTok accounts, and they're all getting shut down like dominoes. And the reason being is because of all the flags. So in the supplement space, and I don't even think this is Golly's fault. I really don't. I'm not even like villainizing them as a brand. I think that when you're a supplement brand, you don't have a choice on TikTok, because right now the algorithm is so brutal. It flags the creators for saying pretty much anything, and it's almost to the point of ridiculous. Like that, no one's saying this thing cures cancer or will cure all my problems. They say very slight things like help, improve sleep, promote whatever,
gut health. I never frequent in the bathroom or whatever they're going.
Exactly. And when you look at a TV commercial on a regular traditional TV, what they're making claims. They have to. Like, how do you sell a product without saying this can help you in some way? So I think TikTok needs to get their shit together, honestly. And I know about a very high level meeting that just occurred at TikTok HQ in Seattle, because I chatted with one of the guys that was on the way to the meeting, and he asked me personally, what should we talk about? And I say, what you need to talk about is this flagging situation where good people are basically having to come up with crazy ideas, crazy solutions to avoid getting flagged for nothing that they did wrong. And the creator gets flagged too. So it's a double whammy. The account gets flagged, the creator gets flagged, and then no one wants to work with the brand. So that's why Gully's going nuts and offering Lambos and condos, because they know they need to get people to work with them that are scared to work with them because of the situation.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I would say is that same with any platform is success essentially puts a target on your back. Same with Amazon. If you're crushing it that hard, there's lots of different things that your competitors will do to get you taken down, as well as Amazon essentially puts a target on your back, and you get flagged for a lot more when you're crushing it that hard. TikTok is probably just the same.
Yep.
But TikTok hasn't been under any scrutiny from the FTC, FDA, and I mean a little bit, but not nearly to the degree that Amazon has.
That's why I don't get why they're doing it.
More restrictions.
It's just AI. Yeah.
But why are they building the AI?
Because they've seen other platforms like Amazon go through this, and they're like, we don't want that to happen to us. But then they're being overly conservative or cautious because they're really protecting the millions or billions they put into it. So, and they don't want to be going through the legal battle with the FTC, with the FDA, with whatever, right, for making claims and marketing claims, and so, and to the point where they're overly cautious. It's. And even though, like, with the over cautiousness is actually costing them dearly, because even if they got fined, the fine is way less than what they would what they're losing in revenue, or what the creators and brands that are losing interest in TikTok is significantly more than any $1 billion fine they would pay.
The short answer is their AI is learning. And it is improving, but it's just not improving fast enough. If you watch the Amazon AI, it was terrible, and then they roll something out, make slight improvements, but it has to learn, and it's learning quickly, but not fast enough.
Look, here's the bottom line. It's not consistent. So if you go on Amazon and you go to Golly, I don't even know how to say it, but Golly, they're gonna give some claims. It's on Amazon. You are allowed to make claims. You are allowed to say that something helps support, and in this case, cellular energy production, heart health immune function. If someone said that on a video, they get flagged.
Well,
it's
on Amazon,
inconsistent.
Yeah, just on Amazon, you do have to document it with proper documentation, and it is inconsistent. Like, you could have a single pack and a 2-pack. The 2-pack gets flagged, the single doesn't. AI is definitely inconsistent, but you do have to document it with tests and things of that nature. But with Amazon, they do have a much higher level of what you can and cannot do, and TikTok is just way in the beginning stage.
It is. Okay, here's another one. Ashwagandha helps reduce stress.
My favorite is promote.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The product's not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Yep.
Boom.
But still, like, if you look here, it's like relax, restore, calmness, relaxation. You get the idea. It's just frustrating. If you're doing a video, you're like, this blue bottle is blue, and it's a bottle and it has some gummies in it. Like, what do you get? You can't say anything. It's like, how do you promote it on TikTok?
I mean, the real source of most of these problems is the FDA. So the FDA is the Food and Drug Administration, but so technically anything, per the definition of the FDA, anything said to alter the human body is considered a drug. But now there's this gray zone of vitamins. So when you have vitamins have all these health benefits that actually do alter the human body. And this is, if you guys have followed the FDA suits and what all this stuff that happened with vitamins, because the FDA was basically at one point even sort of trying to suppress and even ban vitamins and classify them as drugs because they did fall in the definition of altering the human body. Right. So
it's also for financial gain. There's definitely financial gain there for the prescriptions.
Because there's huge financial gain for them, right? So you have to be prescribed vitamins. Now, of course, they lost that battle, but there's so much confusion around what's allowed, what's not allowed with supplements and vitamins. And then TikTok's obviously being overly cautious. Amazon, and then you have to make statements like that. But the nutrition is known to alter the human body, but when you market nutrition, and then you can't, but then you're not really allowed to say certain things on certain platforms, even though it's been clinically tested. It's proven beyond reasonable doubt that this nutritional supplement actually does do this, the human body, in 97 out of 100 people. And it's like, but you can't say that. Like apple cider and other and B vitamins and beef liver and all these cool supplements that are super beneficial for you, but you can't market them anyway because of the FDA. So the real confusion here is what needs to be cracked down on is the FDA. They're the ones that are restraining all these platforms and saying this, and they're just causing confusion because even they don't know what you can and can't do.
Yeah. Well, honestly, in this country, it's part of kind of our corruption, essentially, which comes down to lobbying dollars. So these big companies are lobbying to make these laws and rules to make it difficult for vitamin companies and actual natural or healthy products actually be able to promote these values because of the big budget of big pharma, essentially.
Right. So in all of this, that
Eric,
really
shut up.
boils down to.
Shut up, Eric. Don't say anything on this pod. Shh.
Did we just lose all our advertising?
All it really boils down to is restriction on nutrition to support the billions to big pharma.
That should be a
bonus.
Nutritional marketing to support big pharma.
Yeah,
Michael, don't say that word again. I want to make sure you're alive another week to do another recording. So
yes, Michael and Eric did not kill
Have
themselves.
you seen all the RFK stuff on this? You guys
Yeah.
watched his like TikToks and stuff. Yeah,
I
he's
know.
still
I'm
alive.
like,
I don't think he's had this
well,
devastation attempt
his days
Make
are numbered.
America healthy again. Yeah,
his
I
days
love
are numbered.
Arcade. He's great, Junior.
Yeah.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, I love his stuff. He's so like, every other country has all these bans and all these ingredients, and he was like, and we're just allowing it. And
We give
marketing it to
incentives.
kids even.
We give
Yeah,
incentives.
it's like we're like, yeah, let's make sure that every American eats this shit, so that way they can go to big pharma and eat all
It's like
that
if you
shit and take
use
all those
if you
pills.
use Red 40 and Blue Dye, we will give you an extra tax break of
Oh yeah, shit.
3%.
If you ever see people on the beach in like 1980, you're like, did they ask all the fat people to leave? Because there wasn't any fat people. But if you look today, there's like no skinny people. So it's just the deterioration of our civilization in America. I know that every once in a while,
early 90s. Yeah,
yeah,
that's when it really
I know
started.
that every once in a while we do talk about Amazon. So I thought this was a good opportunity to bring up something that was actually new that I noticed a week ago that I thought was long overdue. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, so let me go ahead and show it to you. So what they did is they basically revamped the subscribe and save dashboard. So it shows year over year sales, which is fantastic. It also shows year over year by count, which is fantastic. It shows subscriber retention. So this little pie chart right here, I think, is absolutely amazing. It tells you what percentage canceled after one delivery. This one says active subscriptions with one delivery, and this shows subscriptions with 2+ deliveries, which makes up 74%. I think that is some absolutely critical data. Subscriber retention for 30 days is about 90%. 90 days is 73%. This is just fantastic information. Average reorders per subscriber versus non-subscriber. Obviously, a subscriber is going to be more likely to be a repurchaser. Average sales per subscriber, $71. Non-subscribers, $38.
But hold on. This is actually incredible that you get the LTV of the non-subscribers too, guys. This was never available before, right, Michael?
That means I know, and that means now you can figure out how much you can actually spend on ads.
Boom.
You always had an estimate before, like I think I can spend $20, and you like crossed your fingers and hoped it was possible. Now you know if you're going to make profit on spending $20 to acquire a customer.
Yeah, and in this case, it's $38, which is that is a tremendous amount of money to acquire a non-subscriber.
So what does that mean? So average sales per subscriber versus non-subscriber. So this is saying in a 1 year period, trailing 12 months, that an average customer that subscribes spends $71.62, correct?
Yep.
And then go down, and then an average customer that doesn't subscribe spends $38.86. So you're basically getting an 80% increase by subscribing customer versus a non-subscribing. Am I right there? That 80-90%? The delta between those two numbers?
Yeah, it's 38 to 71, so it's roughly
about,
so
you're getting 85%.
$32. Yeah.
It doesn't show you how many of your sales are subscribers versus non to really figure out your costs, right? Like how many out of 10 people, how many actually hit the subscribe and save button? Does it say
Let me show you the next row of information. It does go into coupon performance, which I do find to be incredibly interesting as well. One thing to the left is sales penetration by seller funding. The subscribers 30.8%, 24%. I don't have this complete metric fully dialed in yet. It's still new to me. Okay, coupon sales penetration. 18% share of coupon subscriptions is 64%.
Okay, help me understand this.
One thing also to look at this is now keep in mind, they did just change the coupons a few months ago. Now there's 3 coupons. So there's the standard, the reorder, and the subscribe and save, which they didn't have a year ago. I remember when we were back at that, I think it was Surge, we were telling people to subscribe and save coupon kind of trick, but now it's kind of built into the platform. And so a lot of this coupon data is comparing probably not necessarily the correct values. If that makes sense. I would have to imagine that the change, it probably happened here in February. That sounds probably about accurate. And that's why it shows no coupons year over year, because the subscribe and save was a trick a year ago, if that makes sense.
Okay. So the before and after on this one is not really yet. Like next year, we'll get more accurate data.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So
and then the coupon.
How many new, so the key metrics to really plan out how much you can spend to acquire a customer are what percentage of customers opt in to subscribe and save versus not, which is a metric I don't see that they actually have anywhere, because I'm on the dashboard too on my other screen. I don't see they have that. Or if you just look at your total orders and how many new subscribe and saves you have versus your total orders, and you could break down the percent, and then you could start to actually do the math to figure out the exact metrics.
Yeah, you just need to divide the total orders by subscribe and save. One thing that I like, and I think that this is very valuable for any brand, is to look at the percentage of subscribe and save versus their gross sales, because this revenue this is why people love beauty and supplements, is because of subscribe and saves and the ability to grow it month over month. So for example, this one has $98,000, which makes up roughly about 33% of the brand, which I believe that is a very healthy number, and it makes it incredibly profitable. So, and their tacos are incredibly low. And
so this brand is doing about $300K a month in total sales. Is that how you got that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So that's basically 30. So like right there, that's 30%. So which means if you were to spend $20 to acquire a $20 sale, and then you're going to have a 30% LTV uptick on that sale, then you know that you can that $20 you spent is actually worth what's $26 in sales.
This is a very high SNS brand. I wouldn't call this the usual. I think Eric and I find the usual is probably more like 20%, 18 to 20. But this brand stands out as a very sticky brand, which is great.
Yeah, one thing I try to do is get everybody up to 33%. And it's when you look at an account for the first time and you see 10%, 20%, first thing I wonder is how long have they been around in business, or are they actually doing their coupon strategy correctly? And with a few adjustments and changes, within a few months to maybe 6 months to a year, we can get them up to the 33%, which makes it so their tacos start to come down, our ad budget increases, and then we can start to grow to the next level. When their subscribe and saves are low, it makes it so that advertising is close to break even, or profitability is an issue, a little bit more stressed out. But with the subscribe and saves and guaranteed income, it makes it so you can breathe, scale, and your exit is definitely looks a lot sweeter to the investor.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a huge EBITDA jump if you can have that really high. My previous brand account that I managed, I exited actually $283,000 a month in SNS revenue, and the total revenue was $830,000. So every month. So yeah, I mean, and that if I lost that, obviously there's no more marketing dollars going into SNS auto debits, right? You already spent your marketing money, so they're just pure profit at that point.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a lot of big SNS accounts that I push SNS on, and it kind of ends up being around the same. About 30% are opting into SNS.
Yeah, one thing that I would add, I mean, like you were saying, that one account that was just living off subscribe and saves, I work with one of them as well. And like during certain times of the year, you just turn the advertising off and just maximize sales and run so lean that it's literally just like a consistent cash flow, just kind of almost like an ATM, just prints money. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, that's why I love the business model. It's great, especially on consumables, and I've run non-consumable accounts. It is hard. It's hard to scale a non-consumable account.
Yeah.
Because like your cost per acquisition has to be so much lower, and you can't afford to go that much higher in ads. And it's just like you could do it. Absolutely, there's money in non-consumables, but shit, it is tough. Like the future is based on your marketing. Without marketing, you're screwed, and you're limited.
I mean, I
find that it kind of even. I find that the market kind of evens itself out, and here's how: is like you're not going to get $8 CPC for a $20 item in a non-consumable. No one's going to bid that high because there's no one that can afford the tacos. So, but you will get an $8 CPC for a $20 supplement. So I do feel like the cost per clicks kind of inflate based on the fact that there's an LTV, or they deflate based on the fact that there's no LTV. I do still agree that it's probably a better idea to create a consumable brand. I would prefer personally to create a consumable brand. However, the CPC is definitely reflected.
Well, one thing that I would say about that, so the comparison, so let's say you sold dustpans, right? So how many times is the same household going to buy the same dustpan? They're probably going to need one, maybe two. The difference typically that I notice with consumables is that consumable typically is to a niche. Like it's a vitamin for a woman that's over 40, which like you have lessened the market. Now a dustpan can apply to every American business, and so their market is bigger. And to me, that's typically somehow kind of how it evens out. But I feel that subscribe and save is better for the exit. Once you start to get traction and start to figure out what makes that brand tick, I personally like the consumables subscribe and save way a lot better myself.
Yeah, me too. I've always done consumables personally.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's best to have a product that people have to order every month, and they can't live without. Honestly, that's it's a marketing dream come true.
Consumable supply and demand product is just the ideal. And if you make a product, so like there's different types of consumables. Some beauty products are not luxury. Some beauty products are mandatory. Like you have to have this thing, right? And like, a retinol serum is a luxury, and some of these peptides but to some people they're not. To some people they're mandatory. Like they will use them on a daily basis. But when you get into, the hardest products I find to rank are mandatory. You were talking about shampoos, body washes, supplements that everyone has to take, including vitamin D, vitamin C. You're going to get those things. Those are sort of mandatory supply and demand. Now, of course, they have the highest supply. And if you're able to figure out one of those high demands, you need it. You have to have it every day in your life. Otherwise, you will literally die or be unhealthy, or your skin will rot and you'll look like you're 98 years old. If you don't, or your hair will just turn into a big bird's nest if you don't shampoo or condition, right? Like you have to have certain things. And if you're able to find something that is like that is demanded and without the huge supply behind it, then you win the market. Now everyone has to have you. A lot of the new inventions in the area are trying to target things like that you have to have. You have to have a scrub daddy. Like, there's no other sponge.
That's Shark Tank's number one product, yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I cannot live without my scrub daddy. Like, other sponges, I'm sorry, they're shit. It's a mandatory purchase for me every month. Yes, package of scrub daddies, right?
We're gonna post our affiliate link at the bottom, just if you guys want to purchase scrub daddy.
So brilliant, right? You have to scrub your dishes, you have to scrub your counters, you have to scrub your pots and pans, and normal sponges do not do a good job. So brilliant product.
He disrupted the sponge space, essentially.
And now everybody has to have them. They're the best. They clean the spoons, you put them in the little mouth with the happy face, and shit. And then they get super hard with cold water. It's amazing. I love scrub daddies.
I feel like I'm going to see you speaking on a Facebook video selling me daddies within this week.
with my 50% affiliate commission. But brilliant idea, brilliant product is my point. So there, sometimes you might have to invent something new or come up with something new. But if you could think of everybody has to have this or else product.
Absolutely. It's speaking about what you were saying about being essential. So like some vitamins you just can't live without, and that's incredible. The problem with those is that they're more competitive, they're harder to get into, and a lot of the ones that are crushing it are the ones that have been around for a little bit longer. However, when you go into times of recession, luxury and premium products are the ones that takes the hit. The essentials still get purchased, so they are recession proof, which makes those products the best. So if you have like an A&D or some of these vitamin E's, these basic products that everybody needs, then you're definitely crushing it.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's the best.
Yeah.
The Subscribe and Save dashboard, by the way, is not available for other marketplaces besides the US.
No way.
Yeah, it's not available in Canada. It's not available in the UK. It's only that performance dashboard.
I feel like that's I think that's countryism. I feel like that's unfair.
We're not being inclusive of the other countries.
It's
So
just
we can now go to the media and say Amazon's biased against Canadians and
we should
the English and the Italians and the French and the Germans.
we should let the Biden regime know.
Germans should rise up. The Germans should rise up.
Well, they've been doing that for the last century. Maybe somebody else should take a turn.
Yeah, the Germans should be a little quiet this time around.
All right. Let's not piss them off. Let's keep them happy. That's a good point. Maybe that's the first place we should do Subscribe and Save, just to keep them pacified.
Well, there's another thing. They don't have like Amazon posts in other countries, and sometimes they don't have some of the features in America. But keep in mind, America is was the first proof of concept. It's the one crushing, and so it's definitely the one that they introduce all their beta programs. And sometimes they just, after they roll them out, just never make it to the other countries. So, we'll see.
Speaking of international drama, I have so many clients that have reached out to me that want to get on TikTok Shop that have like an Australian corporation, a Canadian corporation, and TikTok won't let them on. That's
right. No, same here. I mean, it's
well, let's go over that.
People in different countries.
I think that would be good to go over, because one thing, just mentioning it, but let's go over the actual specifics of what's required so that you can consider this if you want to get on a TikTok. Now, if you have a question about TikTok, don't Google it. Don't ask a friend. Go to TikTok and go up to the search bar and search for it, because if it doesn't say it on TikTok, then it really doesn't matter. So this is from TikTok. You can see seller-us.tiktok. You can see it says, what are the requirements? You must be 18 years old, must have a valid U.S. state passport or United States driver's license. Applicants must use a phone number and email address not already used to open another shop. Politicians are prohibited from becoming TikTok. Remember this, Bill Clinton. Applicants must reside in the USA. So you need to read this section right there. If you cannot get past this, I do think that there is something you can have a residency, but nevertheless, you still need a U.S. driver's license. And
so the only way you could do this, by the way, and there is a loophole. Foreign people. You have to. It's not hard, and it costs a few $100, but you just need to register a new LLC and a new EIN and make a new member. So you have to have a contact in the US with those things, a United States driver's license, as a member, an authorized member of the LLC, and essentially a partner. So if you have someone in the US that you can trust with the keys to your business, essentially, then you can absolutely have a TikTok shop if you live in Australia, United Kingdom, or any other country. But you will have to have a US partner.
And they would have to have it.
Or family member would also work too.
And they need to have a phone number, an email, a driver's license. They need to not be a politician. Remember the politician part. Social security number. Yeah.
So that's the loophole. It doesn't mean you have to give up. It just means you need to have a really close friend or family member that lives in the U.S. That's it.
Yeah. I wouldn't go find somebody on Fiverr to do it. I would definitely make sure it's somebody you trust.
They have access to your deposit information. So if you're going to get sales on TikTok Shop, it has to be, again, a family member or someone you could trust. They have to have you can have an LLC in your name too, in their name. Let's say you make an LLC you can actually technically make an LLC in a partnership agreement with somebody, and you are literally the 100% owner of the LLC, and they are an authorized administrator of the LLC. Totally works.
Yeah, it definitely comes down to that point of trust.
Steal money at that point.
Yeah, and you could make like an agreement internally that basically just you could pay them a certain amount of money just to be the point of contact or something to that effect, but they have no equity in the company. And you could make it so they don't even have the password to the shop, which would eliminate any trust. However, if you're in Australia and you don't know anybody in America, that could be a problem.
Well, you know what? You know us. We have U.S. IDs, right? So maybe we can work something out. we can work out some equity deals.
I've already done 10 of these. I don't know if I can do 11.
No, I think I'm good on that front. Maybe then we should just make a company of just U.S. people that have just for the ID purpose for international people going on TikTok.
Are you talking about
$500 and we'll get you on TikTok with a valid ID?
There you go. That's business.
Are we outsourcing Americans? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, well, America needs money right now from other countries, right? I mean, we're in a recession. So let's get some money in from all these other countries: Australia, UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain. Let's get these fees coming in. They're paying us to set up their TikTok accounts.
So TikTok Americans for Hire LLC.
Yeah, TikTok American TikTokers LLC.
You heard it here first, guys. If you're overseas, if you're German, if you're Australian, and you need some help for a nominal fee of $20,000, this great group of people here will get you on a TikTok shop for a one-time fee plus a retainer of $3,000 per month plus 5% of your revenue, and you're hooked in for life and you can never leave. It's a great deal. Yeah. Give us a call. Call me at 1-800. It's a terrible idea. Don't do it.
Technically, for some people, it would actually be a great deal.
I mean, honestly, based on what you said, like you said earlier, like maybe Golly would call after that.
Yeah, Golly's in a situation, and they're probably not alone. There's a lot of supplement brands. I'm not taking on supplement accounts anymore. We're on the TikTok shop stuff. We're really focusing on products, not supplements. So yeah, it's too tough.
The more innovative, the better.
Yeah. There's a saying that I like, which is the riches are in the niches, and I feel like that really applies to TikTok.
That's a great saying. I love that one.
Yeah.
The riches are in the niches.
Bitches
get stitches.
So Ian, you weren't here for the last time, but Michael has an incredible Trump impersonation that I feel like he should maybe give our closing argument and our farewell, because I feel like it just needs to be heard again.
It's an off and on thing for me. I can do it occasionally, and then sometimes I just mess it up. But let me try it again. TikTok. If I were to elaborate really well on TikTok shop, I'd say between all the people that are shopping, I'm the best TikTok shopper. I know a lot of TikTok shoppers, and I'm the best. Nobody's as good of a shopper on TikTok as I am. I'm learning how to be better. You can always be better, but no one's better than me.
It was incredible.
Make TikTok great again. Make TikTok great again. Thank you, Michael.
Love
it. So we are starting to get some traction on the pod. We're starting to get some views. We're starting to, it's like, I think we started with like 10 people who are watching our episodes. And that's where everyone starts. I'm sure Joe Rogan's first episode started with 10 people. And we're starting to get some views. We're starting to get some action. And I'm really starting to get excited about this. And I appreciate people listening in. And I want to make that shameless plug that I need you to subscribe. I need it personally. I need it for my own self-confidence. Okay. Like if you want me to sleep well at night and feel good about myself, I need you to subscribe. Okay. I need you to also I need you to comment. It's just important to me. Now I'm an official creator and influencer, and my personal self-respect is now tied up in how many subscribers I have. So if you don't subscribe, I'm going to be depressed. And I just want everyone to know that. and being being honest about it. So help me be happy and subscribe. That's my pitch. Do you guys agree?
Absolutely.
I agree. Board says aye.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Please
So,
subscribe. We need you.
Yes. Like the video,
Well-
subscribe, engage. If you don't like it,
We're not desperate. So if you don't feel like it, just don't do it. But we're not desperate. It's up to you.
well, give us a desperation, like
Just-
only if you really like it.
Yeah, only if you really like us. But please do anyway.
and I know that these episodes have little golden nuggets in it. We just got one today from Eric. Thank you. The subscribe and save is fantastic data. The international TikTok shop stuff's really good too. So we always want to keep good, between all the humor, the Trump impressions, and the bullshit, we want to make sure that there's actually some good content in here. All right. Thanks to everybody. That was another episode of the greatest podcast ever created and the most watched podcast on Apple and YouTube that are hosted by Eric, Michael, Ryan, and Ian. Ryan's not here today because he has no power because he lives on a boat and there's a hurricane. So let's all pray that Ryan and his family are okay. Okay. But yeah, there you go. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for watching or listening.